This is Golden Years, a roadmap to navigate retirement with Mark Cordner, the podcast.
I'm not sure when the last time you went to some sort of store like Costco, Target, or Walmart, Home Depot even, Mark, but your eyes are not deceiving you. They have the scary big, monsters for Halloween, and then literally right next to it, there's the Christmas trees.
Yeah, it's a little disconcerting.
Still in September, yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it? There's a lot going on there. All of a sudden, I start feeling pressure of, we're not even in October yet. I haven't thought about Christmas and New Year's and all the things. And listen, it'll be here before you know it. I know a lot of folks kind of gearing up now for parties and vacations and whatnot. And they spend a lot of time planning for that. Yes, 'tis the season. This last quarter of the year, folks are out and about, right? And you got to think about it. Well, if you spend all this time planning and shopping and decorating and cooking, when's the last time you took some time to check out your finances and your retirement plan, right? You got to do a little check-in there. And I like to call it a financial checkup, but I also like to say, you know what? We're coming towards the end of the year. This is where we want to wrap everything up within a bow, really, this last quarter to prepare for a bigger and better new year next year. So what should we be doing now to kind of get our ducks in a row for this end-of-year checklist?
Boy, there's a number of things. I mean, we're already reaching out to our clients because we get really, really busy with folks at the end of the year. There's a lot of considerations. I mean, those who are over age 73 who have tax-deferred accounts have to take required minimum distributions from those accounts, and they often don't know how much, so we can help them with the calculations, or better yet, we can put it on an automated cycle so they don't have to remember it because as of last year and prior years, if you didn't take that distribution, you get hit with a 50% penalty on top of the regular tax. So you could lose 75% of what you should have taken out. Now that penalty's been reduced this year to 25%, but who in the world wants to lose 25% to Uncle Sam? So yes, required minimum distributions are a consideration. More commonly with my clients, we're dealing with Roth IRA conversions, meaning they've got money in tax-deferred traditional accounts, and we're going to systematically, strategically start converting portions of those monies over to tax-free Roth IRA status. And so we're doing these end-of-year calculations with people, what's your income? How do we manage the tax bracket so you don't bump into a higher tier? How much will you owe in the tax? And then do you want to proceed? And so we're reaching out right now to clients because that's a critical thing. It has to be done before the end of the calendar year, which means you really need to get your paperwork in before December 5th or 10th, just to make sure that these institutions get it processed. You don't want some institution to be backlogged and have you get a tax penalty because you just didn't get around to it in time. So there's things like required minimum distributions. There's insurance reviews. It's a good time to sit down and just review your general protection plans. Look forward into the coming year for goals. Do we want to revise how much we're setting aside in our 401k plans? Do we want to do some things outside of work with our savings plans? Do we maybe need to shift some more money to principal protected, safe growth kind of opportunities? These are all things that have to be talked about. And then probably my favorite, since we're talking the Christmas season and we're thinking of others, is this is a great time to be generous. I mean, it may be that we're gifting to our children. We can gift up to $18,000 without, per person, without having to involve Uncle Sam with that. And then the other one that I love is what's called qualified charitable distributions, which means people over the age of 70 and a half who have money in tax-deferred accounts like IRAs. They can actually donate money directly out of their IRA to a charity. So in other words, they don't have to withdraw money from the IRA, pay tax on it, and give whatever's left to the charity. They can give the full amount to the charity, and it will satisfy their required minimum distribution. And so I have a number of clients, they tie to their church, and so we just have the IRA institution write a check directly to their church, and the client gets the full deduction. So these are all things that should be done and considered here at the end of the year, and we encourage people to come meet with us now. Come learn what you need to review.
There is a new book out there. It is called Social Security Horror Stories. Talked about I know, really, just some light reading for you. It's no big deal. Like there's not enough doom and gloom in the world. Let's talk about that. Well,
it's Halloween.
It's Halloween, exactly. Get out your Michael Jackson Thriller and your Social Security Horror Stories. You'll be good to go. Well, it talks about the common mistakes that people often make when they claim Social Security. Of course, one of them being what's called the earnings test. So, Mark, first of all, explain what this is, and is there a way to restore the money if you make mistakes?
Yeah, there is. And this is actually a very, very common mistake. I mean, most Americans actually claim Social Security at age 62 as soon as they can. And there's a variety of reasons for it. You know, some do it out of financial necessity. Maybe they've lost a job, or they're just, for health reasons, no longer employed and they need that income. Other people do it because they believe that Social Security won't be there. So, you know, money in hand is better than the promise of future money. So they take it as soon as they can. But unfortunately, many of them are still working. And the problem is, if you take Social Security at age 62 and you're still working, there's an offset. It's called an earnings test, as you mentioned. So if you make above a certain minimum limit, which right now is about $22,000, they're going to hold back a portion of your benefit. Well, most people that are claiming now have a full retirement age of 67. Which means at their full retirement age, according to the Social Security Administration, at that point is when you get 100% of your benefits. Well, if you took your benefits earlier and you were still working, they're going to hold back a portion of those benefits. Now, the idea is that they're going to restore those to you after your full retirement age, when most people have then quit working. They call it an adjustment of reduction factor. It's, you know, a mouthful, of course, but that is a surprise to people because they go online and they think they're going to get, you know, $2,000-$3,000 a month, whatever it is, in their Social Security benefit. And then suddenly they're getting a fraction of that because they claimed it while they were still working. So we definitely want to do an analysis. If you're not aware of these things, come meet with us. We'll do a free Social Security analysis for you, and we'll help you look at the options so you can decide from a mathematical standpoint when it's best to claim. And then from a practical standpoint, if there's perhaps another time, perhaps an earlier time when you should, or maybe a later time, we'll do the math for you. We don't charge for that. Of course, you can get these kind of services online for $150, $200. You know, these Social Security analysis reports. We'll do it for free for people, but we do need them to bring in their Social Security reports. And if you haven't got that recently, go to SSA for Social Security Administration, ssa.gov, and that's where you can download your benefit estimates, and we can help people plan in advance so they don't shoot themselves in the foot.
Now, here's the deal, Mark. Each and every single week, you and I, we get together. We're talking about these hot button topics: taxes, inflation, the market, this election. I think really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're red or blue or pink or orange, whatever side you stand on, everybody's looking for the same answer. Do I have enough money? Have I done enough to retire? Am I going to run out of money? And what can you do to give me that added peace of mind that I'm going to be okay? What do you say to them?
Well, let's get together. Number one, let's take a look at your situation. I mean, so many people, once they reach age 59 and a half, have access to the money in their 401ks without penalty. And the biggest issue here is control. And so just yesterday, I helped a woman who's 62, not ready to retire yet, but we rolled the money out of her active 401k. It's called an in-service rollover privilege. She doesn't have to leave her employment. She doesn't have to give up her right to continue to save in the 401k. She doesn't give up her employer's match, but she can take control of her investments. And why would she want to do that? Well, quite simply, she's got a whole universe of investment options outside of the 401k. So in the 401k, there's 10 or 15 mutual funds typically. Outside of the 401k, you got a whole universe of these private investment options, many of which are principal protected. So they're safe is the idea. And as people start approaching retirement, as they get to 60 and above, they start thinking differently about time. And at the end of the day, that's really what it is we don't have the time to recover from losses. And so we start shifting our thinking. Our emotions certainly are changing. And this is a chance to take control of our money and safeguard it, and then make sure we've got income guaranteed for the future so that we can then focus on life. Hopefully we're not focused on money. Money's just fuel. We want to be focusing on life. And so if you haven't had these conversations, come visit with us. We'll show you how to take control of your money and how to safeguard things so you don't have to be anxious and worry about cash.
Investment advisory services offered through Golden Years Financial LLC, a registered investment advisory firm. Insurance is offered through Golden Years Insurance Services. These firms do not provide legal or tax advice. Consult your own legal and tax advisors before taking actions that may have tax implications. Investing in securities involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Insurance contracts' principal protection is based on the claim-paying ability of the respective insurer. None of the information contained on this website shall constitute an offer to sell or solicit to buy a security or insurance product. The information and opinions contained on this site or requested from this site are provided by third parties believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed. They are provided for informational purposes only and are not a solicitation to buy or sell any of the products mentioned. Any media logos and/or trademarks contained herein are the property of their respective owners, and no endorsement by those owners of Mark Cordner, Golden Years Financial, or Golden Years Insurance is stated or implied.